You're watching Business Connection, and joining me now, representing the Ackerman Agency, is Dwain Ackerman. Dwain, welcome to the show. You are an old friend of this station. It's nice to see you. So tell me a little bit about your agency and the things you're doing now.
Well, as you may remember, it was probably 8 or 9 years ago when we first came on your show, and it had a huge impact on letting people know what we represented. So since that day and 600 households later,
wow, that's great.
We have expanded our operation to include AAA, which actually was the parent company of the organization that we had started.
And that was MEMIC?
That was MEMIC, where we were exclusively working with educators. So this represents a great opportunity for us.
Dwain, in the past, I know you've had a lot of community involvement with MEMIC. Will that change with AAA?
Well, what will change about it is the MEMIC Foundation, who supported a lot of the education grants and things like that, they will no longer be doing that. So as a office, we have doubled down on what we're going to use as far as donations and helping different organizations with fundraising. Matter of fact, we're holding our first ever community safety fair this summer. We're going to have it at Wabanzi schools and try to make it free for the community, just to kind of bring the community and the police and fire together again.
That's awesome. So by adding AAA, what does it help you do?
Well, no, that's a great question. What it helps us do is it expands our opportunity to not only penetrate new markets, but also to work with families of the educators. They used to send us referrals, and we couldn't help them because they weren't in the education community. So it gives us a new offer, a new opportunity.
So, but you're still involved in the education community. Now you just get to expand to everyday people.
Yes, we basically added another arm to our operation. So I'm still heavily into working with the education community. You know, once you get ties in that community, it's hard to leave.
Yes, yes. Well, and they represent an important part of our employment and our community. We all need educators. Right. So you have a brand new location?
Yeah, we recently moved over. We're on Ogden Avenue by Montgomery, where they intersect, by the Rush Hospital area.
Sure, that's
so that was part of opening the AAA location. It had to be branded like a McDonald's would be, right? You have to fit certain brand categories. So while it's a little more expensive, there's a lot of pride that goes with that ownership.
Sure. So tell me, we are all concerned about rising costs in insurance. How does, what's going on there? What can you, wisdom and...
Well, I think the easy answer, and the one probably, I don't know if you'd even call it flippant, but people say inflation.
Right.
And while it's true that inflation is having an impact, at our agency, we like to go a little bit deeper and explain that. As an example, labor costs. We all know labor costs are rising, right? So the cost to repair a vehicle, to repair a home has gone up because of supply and demand. The cost of the materials used to replace parts on vehicles or replace entire vehicles has gone up dramatically. So we're seeing those pieces impact what we're paying out, and it's what they call a loss ratio. Loss ratios are rising, and if you looked into the entire industry, you're going to see it's not just one or two companies. The ratios may be changing to different levels, but they're going up significantly.
Well, and I think, as consumers, we're all feeling that impact, and I think that's where an agent like you is so important, because I think one of the things that I like in insurance is somebody that I can talk to that can help me a little bit. So I think agents like you make all the difference.
Well, I appreciate you saying that, but I got to get your word out.
Yeah.
And that's truthfully why we're in it. That's what we enjoy, my staff and myself, we enjoy is being able to explain those things to people, take a time in their life where they may have just had a tragedy and make it simpler. You don't make it good, but you make it easier for them to get through.
Well, right. Well, and I think insurance is incredibly complicated. So I think what we look for in an agent, there's a little bit of a leap of faith when we're purchasing, because we don't really know what we need until we really need it.
Right. You rely on them to ask you questions, which you miss that when you're doing online. I mean, we even get online quotes that we go back through, but you ask people questions and you find out things about them. I was just speaking with an individual the other day that he had just had, with the hailstorm, 2 of his vehicles damaged. And in talking to him, he wasn't even one of my customers, but we had a great conversation. I found out that both he and his wife were at school when the storm hit. And with that educator coverage that we had, they had to pay no deductible. So just having a conversation, and I enjoy that.
Yeah, I can see that. Are there any discounts or tips that you can give us with, with MEMIC or with AAA that we should know about?
I think even no matter who you're with, I think what a lot of people miss out on by not having that conversation and talking to folks is there are discounts today that we never had before. Your occupation impacts your rate. Your degree of education impacts your rate. Your insurance score, which is closely tied to credit scores, makes a huge difference. And by talking to an agent, they can give you some hints on what you should do to manage those types of things. And I would say most agents can do that. So yeah, have a conversation and ask your agent, what discounts are there available and what might I be missing out on?
Well, it goes back to that conversation. So how can people get a hold of you, Dwain?
We prefer the phone still.
That's okay. We got cell phones, that works too.
Yes, you can send us emails. The office is 630-791-8118. And then we forward our phones to one of the 3 individuals' cell phones in the evenings and on weekends. So we try to catch everybody because, you don't always have an accident while we're at the office. So.
Right, most of the time, and I think most of the time when that kind of thing occurs, we don't think about calling the insurance agent right away, which sometimes costs us in the long run.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
You got to be able to get a hold of that agent to get some tips and tactics. So, Dwain, thanks for stopping by and giving us an update on what you're doing now. It's great. I appreciate it, and we wish you a lot of luck with the AAA.
It was great seeing you again.
Good seeing you.
All right, take care.
If you're interested in learning more about Ackerman Agency, please visit their website. We're going to take a quick break, but stay tuned. We're coming right back with more Business Connection.